Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm a little behind here, obviously, but that's okay. It's is what it is. Hi, I got back safely from Omaha. My 10 hours of driving yesterday. Well, 10 and a half. It took me 5 to get there. It took me 5.5 to get back. But whatever. But and it was a nice tribute to my friend. Good dude. He'll be missed. Ran into some friends from high school that I hadn't seen in a while. That was cool. It was for a bad day. It was a good day. Okay. Just proud of my friend's sister who took care of all the arrangements and got to see his mom, and I hadn't seen her in a while. So I was pretty close with his mom too, and she's doing well. And so it's is what it is. Thanks for all the people who had the well wishes. One sponsorship note I missed yesterday. Thanks Tyre Alexander from yesterday. By the way, you were the Superstars donor of the day yesterday.
Streamlabs Superstar sponsor.
You get that. He said my homeland isn't perfect, but it is my homeland. I refuse to let my homeland turn into West CCP. I'd rather see it completely destroyed beforehand. But that is what all this is doing. It is forcing people to draw battle lines in the sand. I'm talking about Justin Castro yesterday. And I spent most of my show yesterday in the car driving, if you weren't here, and just talking about the whole weird thing. It's like, this is an emergency. We're gonna have an emergency declaration so we can destroy people. That seems to be their goal, is just to destroy people and who disagree with them, who don't even talk to them. And so since it is FTG Thursday, I'm sure we'll breach that subject a little bit, plus a couple more. I am, it's time for the intro, and then we'll get it going. So, Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight.
All righty then. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live, and I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet, and welcome to the PDawgKnight channel. It is Thursday, FTG Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yes, it is. FTG Thursday, the 17th of February, 2021, 5 days before my 29th wedding anniversary. Lady Boomer and I are going to probably do something nice this weekend since it's on a weekday, or maybe next weekend. We haven't quite decided yet, because we also have a friend whose birthday is February 29th, and so technically she's only 20 years old, when in reality she's 80. But we're also going to do something for her birthday. So I haven't kind of decided if we're going to go out this weekend for our anniversary or next weekend. We're not doing anything crazy special, because we've decided that for our 30th anniversary, we're probably going to go to Hawaii. For our 25th, we went to New Orleans. For our 30th, we're probably going to go to Hawaii. And, because that's one of the states I haven't been to. I'm down after this summer. I should be down to, 1, 2, 3. I should be down to 4 states, because we're going to go to the East Coast this summer and hit 3 of the states that I haven't been to, which would be Maine, New Hampshire, and what's the one next to New Hampshire? Vermont, the most vaccinated state in the union. And so, I'm excited about that. And then we go to Hawaii next year. And at some point, I gotta go to Florida. This is crazy that it's funny. I've never been to Florida. Like, everyone's been to Florida. Everyone, Disney World and all the beaches and shit. I've never been to Florida, which is wild. And I thought about it when we were in Portland a couple years ago. Well, 3 years ago now, when my son graduated from college. We took that trip. We flew to Portland and then drove all the way down the West Coast to San Diego, and then drove from San Diego up to Las Vegas. And then it was basically a 2-week trip. And We were just across the river from Washington. I mean, you could see Mount Hood from where we were standing in the border near there, and we could have gone up into Washington and something. We didn't, and so now I've never been to Washington either. But I suppose that someday we'll take. Well, we've been meaning to go to Seattle and go into Vancouver. Fly to Seattle and go to Vancouver sometime too. So, well, it's not one of these days, but this year, like I said, we're going to take care of 3 states. Next year on our anniversary, we're going to take care of Hawaii. Florida is probably going to happen sometime. We have friends in Florida. We have all kinds of reasons to go to Florida too. We have friends who live down there. We have our other friend's sister, dad has a condo down there that they let people use whenever they want. And I've just never been there. It's weird. How do you not? If you go everywhere, but not to Florida. So anyway, like I said, this summer, take care of three of those. We're going to eat Maine lobster in Maine. That's going to be fun. We're excited about that. And we might, depending on how the People's Republic of Canada treats us, we may go into Nova Scotia, depending on how all these stupid mandates and stuff go on. But knowing the Prime Minister up there, who is going to figure prominently in today's show again, we may or may not be able to go up there. But we really do want to go to my wife's 7th level great-grandfather founded a town in Nova Scotia, and we want to go there. And so we'll see what happens. Anyway, I hope you all are having a good morning. I am, for the most part, and let's talk about a little news. But before that, let's say good morning to you. I am glad you all are here. 20 people here already. That's good. Let's say good morning to the troops. First in the chat today, speaking of Tyre Alexander, is Tyre Alexander who gets the bell. Yay! Whoops, got that one. What the hell was that? Here, we'll get you, let's see. Do I have any other fun ones? I'm going to do a new soundboard. I have to, see, I'm getting a new, okay. Tyre Alexander, thank you for being the first one here. And before I say hi to anyone else, I'm getting a new phone, right? And, the new phone I'm getting, because we're switching our service, and I'm going to save about $100 a month on our monthly service, because we have 5 freaking phones on my bill. And but the only thing about the newest phones, like I'm getting the newest Galaxy something, the new Galaxy Ultra, because I like having the little stylus, the little, like I do with my Note, and they're not getting rid of the Note, but they're going to have the Galaxy Ultra that has a Note, right? And my son's getting the new i13, whatever, XL, whatever the new, 13 Pro. He's getting an iPhone 13 Pro. My wife's getting an iPhone 13 Pro. My daughter's going to get another Galaxy, and then grandma. I take care of all these phones, right? But I'm going to save like $100 a month, and the phones are free. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll do it. Why not? Free phones, I'll take it, right? The only problem with the new phones is my phone has a headphone jack. And I like having that headphone jack because I use my phone as my soundboard. So I plug it into my system through a couple wires, and boom, I can do that on my phone. Well, my new phone is not going to have a headphone jack. Now, there's probably ways connected through the USB. There's probably ways connected through Bluetooth or whatever. I already have this set up. I like the way I do it. I'm not being a boomer here, but I just don't feel like figuring out another way to set it up. Plus, I also can set up like Twitter Spaces using the headphone jack, using this Go Vocal thing. See, this is this toy right here, Go Vocal, which I plug into to my computer, and I can use that. And now I'm not gonna have a headphone jack. So now I have to go. I'm gonna go get a tablet. I'm gonna go get a used cheap Android tablet because it's an Android program, and I like this one because a couple things. One, you can play more than one. I can play as many sound effects simultaneously as I want to. but the programs for like, I do have a, what's the Fire, who's that by Amazon? I have one of those, but the program for that one, you can't overlap. They don't do all the Android apps in that one. They only do ones you can get through Amazon. And I'm like, I hate technology. I really do. Well, actually, I love technology. I love that kind of shit. And figuring this whole setup out in the studio and stuff, and I had fun doing it. But now I just like that little tiny wrench in my life annoys the hell out of me. So, I'm sure you're glad I'm sharing. All right. Also in the chat, also in the room today, welcome to Somnambule Nation. Also, and thank you for tweeting out the show. Also, good morning, Avocados Diablo, the Devil's Advocate, Mike Savage, Blarg. Also, good morning, Gunfox61, the ever-present and ever loyal administrator of our Discord server. If you haven't joined the Discord server, always good information there. Good morning, also K Shull. What's happening? Also, good morning to Attack Alpaca. I missed your birthday the other day. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Attack Alpaca. Happy birthday to you. His birthday was Sunday or Saturday. I know it was your birthday recently. There are things that I know that I'm not sure I'm supposed to know, but I know it was your birthday. Happy birthday. Also, good morning to Maddie in the new headquarters in Minnesota. I'll just say Minnesota generally. I won't get too doxy here. Also, good morning to, let's see, who else is here? Unacceptable Views of the West, a.k.a. we'll just call him West. Hello, West. What's up? Also, good morning to Select Boys in the House. Yeah, good morning, also, boy. John Arnott. Also, good morning to, let's see, who else is here? I guess you've been, D.I. Freighter Watchers in the house. Good morning, my friend. Also, good morning to Jeffrey Russell Jr. And, who else is here? There's a lot of you here, and I'm just trying to figure it out. I said Somnambule Nation already. I guess I'm a little bit behind in the chat. I should always do this earlier because I get lost. Always lost and nothing else, aka Alone is in the house. Buster's Outlaws, us, Sandlord Stanhope, and let's see who else. And is that it? That's about everybody. If I miss you, I'll catch up eventually. So it is the ever-present FTG Thursday, and yes, I do have my cup of reparations here in the Resist Fascism cup. Everyone should have one. Go to PDawgKnight.live and click on the merch tab to get one. That's the only thing I have in the merch. I've been saying I'm going to get more merch to put on the merch tab for so long, and I still haven't. I still want to, my favorite saying is global warming ever since the Ice Age, which is probably the next one I'm going to put out, but I'm just so lazy and slow at doing that stuff. And there's a lot of stuff I try to get done in my mind. And so I just try to figure it out. So anyway, let's see. What do we got to do here? Let's get into some news. It is FTG Thursday, and boy, do we have plenty of FTGs. Now, apparently, why is Laura Ingraham trending? Oh, I know why. We'll get to that. That's a good one. Oh, well, and by the way, first donor this morning, first sponsor of the show today is Mr. John Arnott. Thank you. He says, morning, Marty. Well, good morning to you, too. And I appreciate you sponsoring the show through YouTube Super Chat, which reminds me, you, the viewers, are the sponsors of the show. And the way you can sponsor the show is hit the like button. That's an easy way to sponsor the show. Another way, share the streams. If you share the streams, that is as good as sponsoring the show. Put a comment in the comment section. That is a good way to sponsor the show. But the best, most patriotic and meaningful way you can sponsor the show. Okay, it's not patriotic and it's meaningful, but more to me than anybody else, is you can throw some a couple nickels in the tip jar, either through YouTube Super Chat if you don't mind giving Susan 30%, or you can do it at PDawgKnight.live, which is the Streamlabs link, which will take you, up in that corner. There will be a thing that, you can donate through Streamlabs. And in Streamlabs, you can do PayPal, you can do credit card, however you want to do that, that's fine. Or there's also Venmo and Cashapp in the description down below. There's just thank you for our sponsors. Y'all have been very generous to me, and I greatly appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. First off, so this one's kind of for the media. And the media, and you can just go, it's really easy, FTG media, because the media, and this is related to our friends up in Canada, who drive vehicles much larger than mine, aka the truckers. And so the truckers have been, are being maligned by the Prime Minister, Justin Castro. Is that his name? Something like that. Justin Castro? Oh, Trudeau. I'm sorry. Justin Castro. I did it again. How the hell? Trudeau. Yep, that's his name. So obviously he's taken this emergency power route, which is just a power route, is a power grab. And he's saying that, they need to have these emergency powers to deal with the truckers that the provinces can't deal with. And part of the thing that they're doing is they're trying to go after the money. The money that people who have earned their hard-earned money, they've done it, they've either worked or done something very smart to earn their hard-earned money, and now they want to give it to these other people, and the other people are using it to be able to keep fueled and stay warm and eat food and all that stuff. And actually, they've been feeding the homeless, too. That's the other thing. They've been taking a lot of their extra food, and they've been feeding the homeless around Ottawa, which I think is quite honorable. And yet, W.R. Costin, hello. And yet, there are media in Canada, which is pretty much a sycophant of the government, or just, who want to portray this protest as the same thing as Justin Castro wants to portray it, as them being just a bunch of racist, waxist, and fringe, this and that, and anti-vax, and blah, blah, blah. Any other disparaging name he can throw at them. So the media, and I don't mean just the Canadian media, but especially the Canadian media, has not been kind to the trucker protest. And apparently somebody hacked the database of Give, Send, Go, and they've been giving those names to the media, and then the media's been out there saying, oh, this is great, we're just going to go try and interview some of these people, we're going to dox some of these people. And so then you get articles like this. Now, or at least this is from the tweet, from CTV Ottawa, which is News Ottawa, CTV. Is your home for live local breaking news. Send us news tips at Ottawa News, CTV, whatever. And they say a database reporting to show donations made to the crowdfunding site Give, Send, Go in support of the Freedom Convoy protest in Ottawa includes nearly 500 donations from people with Ottawa area postal codes. Now, so now they've been going out and trying to get people to talk to them, and some of these people are getting harassed. They're getting harassed. So this is here it is from CTV News. And by the way, I'm not sure, I haven't read this one, but I know they've been giving a lot of these. They've been putting this out. A database reporting to show donations made to the crowdfunding site Give, Send, Go in support of the Freedom Convoy protest in Ottawa includes nearly 500 donations from people in Ottawa area postal codes. On Sunday night, Give, Send, Go's main landing page was briefly replaced with a video manifesto against the ongoing protest. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see that. That has shut down parts of downtown Ottawa, as well as several border crossings elsewhere in the country. It also included a spreadsheet with names and postal codes, email addresses, and donation amounts for tens of thousands of donors from Canada, the U.S., and a handful of other countries. The spreadsheet includes 495 entries with Ottawa area postal codes, totaling 59,000, blah, 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 blah. Donations range of $5 to a single $7,000 donation, allegedly from the president of a local development company. So they're doxing these people. They are. At this time, CTV News Auto is choosing not to name the individual as they have not yet replied to a request for comment to confirm whether they made the donation. It doesn't matter. You know what? If I made that donation, I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, I made that donation. But some people just don't want to know because they don't want to be harassed by the government. So remember, Justin Trudeau, Justin Castro, whatever the hell you want to call him, just a couple days ago, yesterday, whatever the day it was, said they could possibly seize your bank accounts for cavorting with these people carrying around Nazi symbols. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute too, because, the whole Nazi symbol bullshit. Anyway, so now, but that hasn't stopped other news outlets from just going out there trying to find these people and for donating. Okay, so this is now, it has. Now, oh wait, here, hang on. Let me do it. What's the next one here? Okay, this is another one. Oh, and then you get people. You get people like this. Oh, here's the video. Here's the video that these jackholes sent out. Okay, it says, so Give, Send, Go, the site raising money for the convoy, got hacked. The hackers posted this video addressed to the Give, Send, Go grifters and hatriots, quote unquote, with the Frozen song in the background. They also posted what they allege to be all the info on who donated and how much. Now, there's a link. I'll have this linked in the links after the show. That single link that I have will have all the a list of links to everything we go through today. Pat, what's up, my brother? How you doing? Good to see you in the chat. So anyway, this is what the hackers apparently. Okay, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get another one of those, not copyright strikes, but copyright claims where they claim all the revenue from your video, which I don't get a lot of revenue in my videos, so I shouldn't care, but it's just the principle. See, because they don't take super chats, shit like that, but they're so stupid sometimes. This is clearly a news and commentary show, and usually if there's music in the show, it's because I'm talking about it, but I have to go and do a appeal every single time. It's just annoying. So anyway, but if you want to see that video, it's there. Now, this has created a very interesting, I hate to use the word bedfellow because this is somebody who, I don't know if she was a bedfellow with her own brother because she was married to him. But anyway, a strange ally in this. This is this, I'm telling you, you're not going to believe. And this is not going to be an FTG day for this woman, which 99.1826924% of the time I would be saying FTG to this, who I would normally describe as a moron. But this time, shockingly, the clock that is broken struck midnight, and you're not going to believe it. I'm just telling you, you are not going to believe. You're not going to believe it. You are not going to believe it. But Ilhan Omar says, I fail to see why any journalist felt the need to report on a shop owner making such an insignificant donation rather than to get them harassed. It's unconscionable, and journalists need to do better. I know the delayed reaction because you're stunned, but I hear it coming. Unbelievable! I mean, who is this now? And what's amazing, even more amazing, is she hasn't retracted it. She hasn't retracted it. Are you kidding me? A broken brotherfucker is right twice a day. Yeah, unreal. And the people are kind of freaking out, you know. Lee Fook and some Ting Wong seem to think that's weird. Wow, I agree with you for the first time ever. Based Omar, except she's wrong. Well, of course, Dr. Caroline Orr, this moron. Journalists didn't report on the shop's owner's $250 donation. The shop owner's name appeared on a leaked donor list. So, why would you continue to promote it? Then on Twitter, the journalist reported on the threats the shop owner received after the name was leaked. You should correct your tweet. Well, no. Sorry. Still did it, dumbass. So anyway, there's people, unreal that she, who is this woman? I have no idea. So she does not get an FTG for the day, and she, in fact, give her a hand clap or whatever. Good morning, Asan, Nomad, and Kessler. What's happening? Nice to see you guys. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with her, but now what she hasn't seemed to have commented on, and this was brought to my attention. She hasn't yet commented on this. It would be nice to see Ilhan Omar talk about donated BLM funds being used to bail out Quintez Brown after the shooting in Louisville, Kentucky. So apparently, here it is. So they're $100,000 cashier's check by Black Lives Matter just handed into the clerk's office to pay for one of their activists, Quintez Brown, after shooting at a Louisville mayoral candidate, Craig Greenberg. By the way, FTG Quintez Brown, which is almost a little bit comical too, because that was the what the hell happened there? That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, something happened there. That was not supposed to happen. And anyway, here. There, FTG Quintez Brown. Now what's really kind of wild? Why isn't it going back? There we go. No, that's not what it's supposed to be doing. Well, that tweet's not going to be in the links. Hello, Straight Sith Mail. Nice to see you. So, yeah, that's kind of weird that Ilhan Omar, but then again, Ilhan Omar probably does fundraising for some things that might be nefarious too, like bailing out accused murderers. And it's funny about that Quintez Brown thing. There were tweets about people saying, "Oh, see, this is what happens when you let white nationalists run wild or white supremacists, blah 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 blah. They shoot at Democrats, and the message of the Republicans should be paying for this." And then it turns out to be a activist with a preferred. What's a good word for this? Preferred, what do you call it? Movement. It's an activist for a preferred movement who shot at the Democrat mayoral candidate of Louisville, and not just an activist, like someone who's deeply involved with a movement. Wow. So anyway, good morning, Jaeger Pony. My favorite Canadian is in the house. All right. So let's move on. Now I wanted to see. Oh, you've got mail. Apparently I have mail. What's in my mail here? Oh, no school today. Oh, Sydney, no school today. Is it because of snow? I don't know. I can't remember where you live, but I hope you're having a good day, Sydney. Sydney, I should say Sydney. I don't want to say Sydney's name wrong. Real quick, let me do a couple thank yous. Thank you to Somnambule Nation, who I'm retweeting right now, and also to Maddie, who I'm retweeting right now, for tweeting out the show today. Also, thank you, Somnambule Nation, for retweeting my tweet of my show. I appreciate that too. And also, Shell D liked it, so that's cool. I hope you're visiting Shell D. If you're not, why not? Maddie gave you we gave you the coordinates. Come on down. All right. And let's see. Let me just double check over here. Okay, we're good. Let's keep going. Now, yeah, that was crazy. So let's talk about the Canadian Parliament. Of course, Justin Trudeau has done, well, let's see, let me pause this real quick. Let me open this in YouTube. Will it open a window? Yes, it will. So in the Canadian Parliament the other day, Justin Trudeau, well, I'm just going to show it to you because it's confounding. Is that a good term for this? Anyway, here's something that happened in the Canadian Parliament the other day.
Hill.
Positive, optimistic, hopeful vision for public life isn't a naive
This is an
dream.
MP
it could be a powerful
from
force for
Thornhill,
change.
Ontario.
If Canadians are to trust their government needs to trust Canadians. Those are the words of the Prime Minister in 2015. These people, very often misogynistic, racist, women haters, science deniers, the fringe. Same Prime Minister 6 years later as he fans the flames of an unjustified national emergency. So, Mr. Speaker, when did the Prime Minister lose his way? When did it happen?
Now, for those of you not familiar with the parliamentary system or parliamentary procedure, whatever, now the Prime Minister gets to respond to this lady with the interesting haircut, okay, who's in the Conservative Party of Canada. And she had a question, right? When blah, blah, when are we talking to this? I wish someone would ask her why you're not talking to the truckers and just throwing down some emergency powers. But listen to Justin Trudeau's answer. This is fascinating.
You're right, Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Conservative Party members can stand with people who wave swastikas.
Point of order, the Honorable Member for Thornhill.
What did he say? What did he say? Now, this seems to be edited because I don't know that it happened right away.
Mr. Speaker, Conservative Party members can stand with people who wave swastikas.
Point of order.
Okay, so that obviously there's a cut there, but that was the first line of what he was saying, and the MP who had just spoken that he said that right after had a rebuttal to that.
The Honourable Member for Thornhill.
Mr. Speaker, I am a strong Jewish woman and a member of this House and a descendant of Holocaust survivors, and I have never it's never been
Now,
singled
here's what
out.
this tweet says. It's been 77 years since the liberation of Auschwitz. The Holocaust didn't start with death camps. It started with the delegitimization and dehumanization of Jews while everyone looked the other way. Today, remember, never again, Holocaust Memorial Day. Okay, that's just something she had tweeted out.
And I have never been made to feel less.
And then here, tragically, this comes as no surprise and reflects what I experienced as a Jew in Canada. Awful as this is, the impact is exacerbated by the many who seek to deny, minimize, and excuse anti-Semitism, compounding the damage done. Now, 2021 was the most anti-Semitic year of the decade. Interesting, since the decade just started. But anyway, and she had retweeted that.
Except for today, when the Prime Minister accused me of standing with swastikas. I think he owes me an apology. I'd like an apology.
Now, and she actually said the other day, it's possible to respect people's right to protest even if you think we're wrong, while condemning the reprehensible symbols and language used by a small number of people who have attached themselves to this convoy. We do it all the time. The Nazi flags are wrong at any protest. The symbol is hateful and should be condemned by everyone always. I support getting rid of the trucking mandate to protect the economy. It changed last Saturday, and no one was outraged at the exemption before that. It's not that complicated. If you are outraged at the truckers' mandate, then you should be outraged at teachers, port workers, grocers, and restaurant staff not having the mandate. It's only a mandate for truckers. And so she stands with the truckers. And she was not happy about the flag. But there's even more news about the flag, and I'll show you that in a minute. But anyway, so here's Justin Trudeau.
And I think he owes an apology to all members of this House.
Okay, so she is demanding an apology, right? Now, that's not the end of it. Now, after she asked for that apology, Trudeau disappeared. he disappeared, just left. They came back to him, and he was not there. By the way, this is why. It's actually why Laura Ingraham is trending, because apparently this MP went on Laura Ingram's show. We'll get to that. But I want to show you. So there was another opportunity for Trudeau to apologize. Where the hell? Come on, go. Let's go here. Okay, we'll pause there. Hang on.
Parkland.
Mr. Speaker.
Now, so here's. We'll get back on YouTube here. There we go. All right. Why do every single one?
Speaker, I've never seen such shameful and dishonorable remarks coming from this Prime Minister. My great-grandfather flew over 30 missions over Nazi Germany.
Okay, now this Dayton Lloyd. He's Sturgeon River, Alberta, conservative. He's from the Conservative Party, and he's speaking about Trudeau's little thing about swastikas and whatever.
Great-great-uncle's body lies at the bottom of the English Channel. There are members of this conservative caucus who are the descendants of victims of the Holocaust. For the Prime Minister to accuse any colleague in this House of standing with the swastika is shameful. I'm giving the Prime Minister an opportunity.
Now listen to his opportunities.
To unreservedly apologize for this shameful remark.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians deserve their freedoms back. Mr. Speaker, these illegal blockades
whoa. What was he asking for there? What did the MP ask for? An apology. And Trudeau says Canadians deserve their freedoms back. That's an interesting statement. Does that include the truckers? Do they deserve their freedoms back? I don't know.
Livelihoods, to interfere with people's daily lives,
have to interrupt the Honourable Prime Minister, so ask everyone to calm down so we can hear the answer. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the measures put forward in this Emergencies Act are proportional, are responsible, and quite frankly, are completely folded within the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
The Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Wow. I'm not as familiar with Canadian laws as maybe some of you may be, but I'm confused. We're gonna do this emergency thing and just kind of circumvent the laws using emergency powers. And then he uses he has the nerve to use the words rights and freedoms. I'm just confused. I'm confused.
The steps that we are taking are important and measured.
And the part that confuses me even more is why is it just the truckers? They're not doing it. Maybe it's not just the truckers, but that's one of the groups they're imposing this on. I think he's just a stubborn little bitch. That's all I can say,
To restore order and freedoms to Canadians in this country. That is exactly what we are doing.
Is it?
For Sturgeon River, Parkland.
Mr. Speaker, the lack of an apology from that Prime Minister speaks volumes. I have given this Prime Minister an opportunity to retract a shameful remark where he would accuse any honorable member of this House to stand with a swastika. As I said before, we have colleagues who are the descendants of victims of the Holocaust. I'm giving the Prime Minister one more chance. Will he apologize to all members of this House?
Let's see if he apologizes.
members of the Conservative Party are calling to us to take more action over the past 2 weeks on this. They continued to stand with and encourage these illegal blockades. Mr. Speaker, Canadians are watching carefully and see exactly where the Conservative politicians who've stood with those blockades are standing. We will stand on the side of Canadians who deserve their lives back, who deserve their livelihoods back.
How about the Canadian truckers? Do they deserve their livelihoods back?
Mr. Speaker, I didn't write these out. But the fact is, I don't know how any member of the government caucus can stand by this Prime Minister when he accuses honorable members of this House of standing with a swastika. I'm calling on all members of the Liberal caucus to denounce the Prime Minister. I have given him 2 chances to apologize. He has refused to apologize. Mr. Prime Minister, apologize.
And does he apologize? Does he apologize? Does he apologize?
Once again, I want to remind the honourable members, I know this is getting emotional, but place your questions through the Speaker, not directly to each other. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
And?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. These illegal blockades have been going on in Ottawa for 20 days now. People have been interrupted in their daily lives, have been made to feel fearful, have been made to miss shifts at their work across southern Ontario. These are things that cannot be stood for, which is why we're moving forward with a responsible set of measures
nodding her
to
heads
allow
yes.
the local police jurisdiction to do
God.
their jobs. We continue to defend freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, as long as
freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, as long as it agrees with us. Now, how did he actually finish the sentence?
It's peaceful and legal.
Peaceful and legal. Any evidence that it hasn't been peaceful, Mr. Castro? All right, real quick. Thank you, GunFox61 and GunFox61. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. Who says Trudeau sounds like a little funny man with a funny little mustache. FTG Trudeau. Now, let's see the Canadian government break out into a hockey fight. Get the popcorn. Yes, that would be quite entertaining. We've seen parliamentary bodies occasionally get a little heated, and that was. Ooh. But now, there's something fascinating, though, about him talking about this. Where is this? I think I have a link to this. Maybe. I hope I do. Because there's a link. Let me find it my YouTube history real quick, because I watched this video already. There's a little side note when it comes to this swastika sighting. That I found fascinating. I know it's in my history here. Give me just a second. I will show it to you, and I'll have this also in the links. So, where is it? Oh no! Did I not save it? Oh, maybe been a ways down. Well, anyway, here's the thing about that whole swastika sighting. The person who was carrying. Oh, here it is, right here. I found it. Okay, good. Hang on a second here. Let me pause this. So here's a little bit of info. By one of the protesters, clearly a racist protester, so I would take this with a grain of salt. This might be one of the most racist protesters that were at the trucker convoy protest, but I still, his story may ring true even though he's such an avid racist. So let's just hear him out and see what he has to say here. Here's this racist trucker dude.
The last video asked for proof of a Nazi flag at the convoy, and you guys sent me this clip.
I was here the first day of Ground Zero.
Racist.
I actually spoke on stage. I actually saw the guy with a swastika flag.
So it was a real thing?
It was a real thing, but this is what they didn't tell you. he was going around with the flag saying, "Is this what you want for our country?
Really?
This is what Trudeau is going to turn our flag into if we allow this draconian fascism to continue.
Context.
Is this what you want the maple leaf to be replaced by? This is what we're heading to, people." And he was speaking with a European accent.
Oh my
So I'm
God!
thinking that he came from a country that knows about fascism.
Oh my God! He was speaking with a European. So they were both racist Nazis. So anyway, of course, there's context. Now, why did that? I hate these stupid. I hate these stupid autoplays. They drive me nuts.
My last.
Okay, so anyway, I'll have that video in the links too. Yeah, and I know I've seen other swastikas at the Canadian protest, or the trucker protest, but you know what it was on? It was put in like big old Sharpie on a Canadian flag saying, "This is what we are becoming." So yes, there have been swastikas at the protest, the convoy, the Canadian trucker protest. But perhaps Prime Minister Castro might want to check into the context in which he saw those flags. And the guy with the Confederate flag, the truckers ran his ass out of there. They ran him out on a rail. That guy, they said FTG to that guy. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, all right, let's keep going here. Now this is why Laura Ingraham was trending though, because, and you know, a lot of people hate Laura Ingraham and whatever. I don't give a shit because I'm whatever. But there's some people mad because that MP, the young Jewish woman who was telling Justin Castro that he needed to apologize. Well, she went on the Laura Ingraham show, and now a lot of people are mad that she went on the Laura Ingraham show because they think Laura Ingraham is a racist Nazi and all that shit too. So anyway, there's, for example, this person, Neil Bevorzad, the first thing I do when accused of standing with a movement heavily influenced by white supremacists is being funded by far-right foreign activists interfering in domestic Canadian politics is appearing with Laura Ingraham. This is perfectly normal. Now, there is a clip, and then see, there's that requisite. She was going to wave, and they got the freeze frame just in time for her hand to stop, and whatever. That's one of their favorites. But anyway, here is conservative MP and part-time Elvis impersonator Melissa Lansam sinks to a new low by appearing on Laura Ingram's show last night. Is that a new low? I'm never a new low for what? For politicians? I'm sorry. There are politicians who's apparently that sink to far worse new lows, but let's see what she had to say in this 45-second clip.
Critics. So we've been calling to an end to these mandates, particularly the cross-border trucking mandate, since earlier this year. We are one of the highest.
She sounds
we've
so
got one
unreasonable.
of the highest vaccination rates, and we also have one of the. We are the country with the highest, most draconian restrictions.
She sounds
so
like
if you want
just
to
a
end
racist
today,
Nazi sympathizer.
He could have done that 19 days
standing
ago
with
before,
the
putting
Nazi
forward a
flag or
national
swastikas and
emergency
shit.
that is not justified. He could have gone out and talked to people rather than calling them racist and misogynist, and we could have put an end to this. He can drop the mandates and he can drop the restrictions today,
I'm sorry.
and I think that we will have a much more cohesive country.
MP Lanceman, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Okay, wow, that clip just shows what kind of a crazed Nazi racist Laura Ingraham is. I mean, good God, she said thank you for being on the show. Holy smokes, what a crazy bitch. Anyway, so all right, let's move on. FTG to all the people who are bitching about Ms. Lanceman going on the Laura Ingraham show. I got to tell you. Now, I was just over here. She even got a Nazi haircut. Yeah, she did. She has the. Yeah, she has the. What's his name? Richard. What's that jackass? Richard Spencer. Richard has a Richard Spencer haircut. My God. All the Jewish Nazis. So anyway, I was just browsing on Twitter this morning before the show, and I put in the hashtag Canadian Trucker, and there was actually some pretty good memes on here. So we're going to just kind of scroll through this a little bit because it was funny. And so Randy Quaid, now he's kind of a crazy guy. I mean, I'm sorry. Randy Quaid, funny kind of actor, but he's also a little bit you know, he's a bit of a screwball. He said Trudeau's nasty speech where he uses brain-dead Brandon to bolster his nastiness toward his own people is just tone deaf. Justin Trudeau, don't listen to Brandon, listen to the truckers. Now, and he says, hashtag let's go Brandon. Now, Randy Quaid, I don't know if his brother approves, but Randy Quaid has a mind of his own, and it's a little bit addled by all the probably drug use shit he used to do. But I agree with Randy Quaid. Now, someone named David Burke, Justin Trudeau suggests that these Canadian truckers and their supporters are Nazis. Seriously, so you got the Sikh guys over here, and then there's this kind of nun-looking human being. Is that a real nun though? I don't even know. Here's the picture. Yeah, it looks like a nun. God bless you, convoy truckers. Free forever. Now, she is clearly a Nazi nun, while these Sikh guys are definitely just evil human beings. They have weird stuff hidden in their turbans and shit. Also, let's keep going down here. Here's a good one. So let's see. People, this says, police started arresting people in Ottawa for bringing fuels to the truckers. Now everyone in Ottawa is walking around carrying gas cans. So apparently, yeah, there's a whole bunch of people carrying around cans just to kind of do an end around on the popo, which is, I understand the popo's just doing their job, doing what they're told, but there are some popo who are saying, fuck this shit. I don't give a shit. Good on these guys. I agree, and I'm sure because they're all the things that they want they want the popo to do, and the popo are like, I agree with them. I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Pilot calls on Canadians to have courage. What's next? What he says next is absolutely. So let's see what this pilot says.
If you act in ways that violate your conscience and oath, we are headed to dark places. Be men and women of courage.
Sorry, it had to make this full screen here. There we go. All right, let's try this again.
If you act in ways that violate your conscience and oath, we are headed to dark places.
Now, I'm curious what he's talking
about.
Be
men and women of courage. Now, you may be saying, I'll wait until they ask me to go too far. But then it's not much different than that jet hurtling down the runway at 100 knots. It's too late then. This is your hour. Now is the time. Speak out, reinforcing your commitment to your oath. We need a wall of courage to stand in the gap for the citizens of this nation. In closing, all of us have a unique call on our lives in these hours. Speak the truth at all costs. You may be telling yourself, it will cost too much. You've got a family, a future. But exactly, your family and their future, our families and our futures are the reasons we must stand up and speak out. There is no future for our children if we enable the instruments of darkness with our silence. Make no mistake, we are in a battle for our future, and it will be a long battle. Mandates and injections, they're only the start.
Ding.
But know this, good will triumph over evil, but it will do so when honorable people in large numbers are willing to sacrifice. There's a direct relationship between our willingness to sacrifice and the power that these authoritarians hold over us. A people who count it a joy to suffer loss for a greater cause disarm them of their power.
Ding.
So to those in government and leadership seeking to control our lives, I say, you can take our income, our career, you can take our home, our comfort, but you cannot take our dignity. You cannot take our freedom to choose, and nor will you ever steal our resolve to fight for our freedom with all of our will. My fellow Canadian freedom lovers, let the nation know we won't be silent and we won't back down in our commitment to truth and freedom. May God keep our land glorious and free.
All right. So I'm just going to leave the link to the entire thread here. But there's a couple other good things going on here. This is, that's not that. Where's the other one? Oh, here's this guy. He's lost the plot big time, brothers and sisters.
The protests because you're tired of COVID?
You now need to understand that you are breaking laws.
The consequences are becoming the law. I'm sorry. I'm translating for the Prime Minister here. So just bear with me. I'm going to translate what he says here. You are breaking
more severe.
And it's going to be severe.
You don't want to end up losing your license.
You don't want to end up losing your license.
A criminal record,
and you have a criminal record.
Will impact your job.
And impact your livelihood.
Even your ability to travel internationally, including to the U.S.
Into the U.S.
We've heard your frustration.
We've heard your frustration, but fuck
with
you.
the measures that are there to keep people safe.
What? Wait a minute. I missed that part. Hold on.
With COVID. With the measures that are there to keep people safe.
With the measures that are there to keep people safe.
We've heard you.
We've heard you. Shut the fuck up.
It's time to go home now.
It's time to go home. Shut the fuck up.
The protest.
That was it. Okay.
You're tired of COVID.
I'm sorry. I had to translate because that's what he was. For those who didn't understand Trudeau's or Castroese, that was for you. All right. And then Bill Maher, he's they're not okay. Oh, keep talking about discussion. Oh, I'm not gonna go. I'll put a link to the Bill Maher one here too, but I'm not gonna go into that story if it's supposed to. What the fuck's going on? Okay, hang on. Let's fix that. Okay, this is more protest. All right, I'm gonna. Dang it, blast it, bring it, bang it, see it, reckon second. I don't need this twice. Pause that. We'll pause this. Shut up. All right, now you can go through this on your own. There's plenty of good memes. There's plenty of interviews, all kinds of things you can find on this list. But my personal favorite. Was this one. The most annoying little bitch on earth meets with Greta Thunberg. And at the top of this, what did the top of this say? This was along with a tweet that said, "Well, Justin, lure the truckers out with hookers and sandwiches," said the high schooler with no life experience. Canadian truckers, the most annoying little bitch on earth, meets with Greta Thunberg. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So anyway, all right. Let's see. Oh, someone's giving me some tech advice here. Thank you, King 8 Lopez, and welcome to the show. Are you new here? I've never seen that name. If you're new, I'm glad you're here. And also, well, I hope you're subscribed too. You can still use your note as a soundboard. Just take out the SIM card and put it in your new phone, and your old phone becomes a small tablet. Well, no, I know that, but I'm trading in my phone. I would have kept I know you can take out the SIM card. In fact, I think I might have another old phone that's an Android, but I also want a bigger screen. That's why I'm going to get a tablet so I can have more sounds on one page. Because you can if you put too many on a page here, you can't read what they say. But I appreciate that's a great advice. But I am turning in the phone. But thank you for that advice and welcome. Again, a new name. I'm happy to see a new name. Okay, let's move on. Now I know I've spent a lot of time about the truckers here. Oh, that's interesting. So anyway, the let's just say that much of the Canadian Parliament, it hasn't been too kind to good old Justin while he's been talking in Parliament. And so this is an article from Legal Insurrection. Parliament jeers Prime Minister Trudeau during speech about the Emergencies Act. He was confronted by Conservative Party interim leader Candice Bergen, who look kind of, you know what's weird? So this is Candice Bergen, right? She kind of looks like the actress Candice. Is it Bergen? She kind of looks like the actress, like they could be related. I don't think she is, though. Anyway, yesterday I noted that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau would have to get approval from the Canadian Parliament to enact the odious Emergencies Act, given the fact he heads a government minority and that many Canadian citizens support the goal of the Freedom Convoy protest. Members of Parliament may not be too keen to grant it, right? Well, it appears we were correct. Less than 24 hours after declaring wide-ranging powers, including terror finance laws to defund the truckers, Trudeau came to Parliament to persuade them to support his move. In the video clip, which is not making its way into mainstream media news for some strange reason, shows the Prime Minister getting jeered and booed. It being with the Trudeau being confronted by the Conservative Party interim leader Candice Bergen over his invocation of the Emergencies Act. So let's see here. That is not Murphy Brown. No, it is not Murphy Brown. She looks pretty good though for a Candice Bergen, I guess. Let's.
General, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Yesterday, the Prime Minister invoked the Emergencies Act. 24 hours in, and there are more questions than answers. Questions about whether this is justified, questions around if the criteria is met, questions around what this means to Canadians' rights and freedoms.
Whoa. Okay, Canadians, who are more adept at Canadian Parliament than I am. When they show this side of the room, are these all from the Conservative Party? I'm just curious. I think they are. I think they kind of they separate the parties, right? Well, what's this dude with the turban doing over here with the Conservatives? Are they allowed to have people with turbans at the Conservative side? I am very confused. Okay, let me continue.
Parliamentary approval is required in order for the Prime Minister to use this unprecedented sledgehammer.
And it's crazy.
Can the Prime Minister tell us?
It's insane that he wants to do this. Anyway.
When will Parliament be debating this? Will it be coming to us on Friday? And does he expect that we will look at it Friday, but then rise, take a week off, and not actually deal with this until March?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, after discussions with Cabinet and caucus, after consultations with the premiers of all provinces and territories, after conversation with
now here's one of the reasons they're jeering, because half the provinces don't want him to do this. They think he's an asshole. Well, I don't know if asshole's the word, but asshole. Okay, asshole. Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought this was the Mexican part. Anyway, they think he's an asshole.
We decided to invoke the Emergencies Act to supplement provincial and territorial capacity to address the blockades and occupations. I want to be very clear, Mr. Speaker. The scope of these measures
is
are time-limited.
Ruthless conservative. She's not liked by a lot of people, but she's what the Conservatives need right now to slap the little boy around. Okay, there you go. I wish I had my headset because I have a 1 hour drive ahead of me where I can actually talk. Sikhs are Nazis now or something? Well, I don't know. That's okay. There we go. Oh, yes, sort of. Okay.
Targeted. They are reasonable and proportionate to the threats they are meant to address.
They are not.
They are fully
reasonable and proportionate. Really? Because I thought the Emergencies Whatever Act was for something that was imminent, like danger to Canadians, like serious. Like this seems a little Pinochet to me. You know what I'm saying?
With a Charter of Rights and Freedoms to reassure all Canadians that this is the right thing to move forward with.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
I had a very simple question to the Prime Minister. He was not able to answer. It would appear this could be more political drama for the Prime Minister. He name calls people that he disagrees with. He wedges. He divides. He stigmatizes. Yet in spite of all of his failure, Coote's border has cleared. Windsor has opened up. Provinces and police are doing their jobs, and blockades are starting to come down. But the Prime Minister thinks that now is the time to use this extreme measure and invoke the Emergencies Act.
I'm going to translate his next response, by the way.
Could serve to actually make things worse and not make things better.
Exactly. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Okay, just for clarity, I will be translating this next section of the Prime Minister's answer.
This is about keeping Canadians safe.
This is about keeping Canadians safe!
Protecting their communities
from these assholes!
Neighborhoods and ensuring
jobs in our economy. Jobs which we will force tow truck drivers to tow these truckers who are disobeying my orders.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to interrupt the right honourable Prime Minister. I'm trying to hear the answer, and I'm having a very difficult time.
No answer.
There's some shouting going on. I'm going to have to ask the honourable members to maybe just keep it down. And if you've got something that you're not agreeing with, talk amongst yourself with someone next to you. You don't have to.
Oh my gosh, that's so Canadian. The speaker's just so polite and kind. I love it. I love you Canadian people. Even though Jaeger Pony's still my favorite. I don't know if he's so agreeable.
To shout it out to the person across the floor. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, you are absolutely right. This is a time for responsible leadership, not crass partisanship.
This is a time for responsible leadership, and I am the leader.
The situation requires tools not held by other federal, provincial, or territorial law.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't. I just can't. So anyway, he responded with blather, completely dodging Bergen's pointed inquiries. Bergen even noted there were significant developments that negated the need to invoke the act. Now, the thing is, I don't know, are they going to, does Parliament, and maybe you Canadians know, do they have to, do the Parliament have to vote on this? Kind of like the War Powers Act in the United States, where the president can do so much, but he still needs Congress to actually declare war or approve any action. Is that the case in Canada? I'm not sure. I think it is, but at least it sounds like it. Anyway, let's move on. I know I'm still talking about Canada, but and then Jordan Peterson went off on Trudeau too, but I'm going to skip this one. It'll be in the links though. Also in the Daily Wire, the US government. Now here's this is fascinating. There's several governors in the United States, probably governors border states, who are, and some Canadian premiers, they're the Canadian version of governors, who are calling on Biden and Trudeau to drop cross-border vax mandates for truckers. This never made any sense in the first place. It's like, hey, these truckers, these mother truckers, they're alone in their cabs most of the time. Who cares? As long as they're, I don't know. A coalition of Canadian premiers and U.S. governors are calling on Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and U.S. President Joe Brandon to discard the vaccine mandate for cross-border travel for truckers. A group comprised of 2 premiers and 16 governors sent a letter to the top levels of the Canadian and U.S. governments on Wednesday, requesting that the vaccine and quarantine exemptions be restored for truckers crossing between the two countries. The letter cited the strain that the mandate is putting on already struggling supply chains. The letter said in part, hang on, gotta get rid of these things. Quote, we are writing to request that you immediately reinstate the vaccine and quarantine exemptions available to cross-border truck drivers. We understand the vital importance of vaccines in the fight of stupid 19 and continue to encourage eligible individuals to get vaccinated. However, we are deeply concerned that terminating these exemptions has had demonstrably negative impacts on North American supply chain, the cost of living, and access to essential products for people in both countries, like maple syrup and oil and I don't know, car parts. The timing of your decision to terminate the vaccine and quarantine exemptions could not have been worse, as North America already faces grave supply chain constraints. These restraints combined with increasing inflation, place significant burdens on the residents of Canada and the United States. Furthermore, transportation associations have informed us that the lack of exemptions will force thousands of drivers out of the trucking industry, which is already facing a significant workforce shortage. The removal of these exemptions is ultimately necessary, and we cannot afford to lose any more truck drivers who transport food and vital supplies across the border. Now, let's see. Today, I signed the letter along with Premier Scott Moe, Governor Gianforte, and 15 other American governors urging President Biden and President Trudeau to drop the cross-border vaccine mandate. So several governors have signed this, And so there you go. Now, what was I going to say about this? There was something going to say. Well, let me go to this. Thank you, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian, for the YouTube super chat in Canadian 5, which is $202.67. I know I make that joke all the time. It's not nice, and I appreciate you guys. Almost expecting Justin to scream out like Stallone in Judge Dredd, "I am the law!" Except your face would be like this. "I am the law." Stallone and his face tick there. Thank you very much, Jaeger Pony, for sponsoring the show again. Also, thank you, Piccolo, who says, shameless plug, for more fun Canadian news, subscribe to the Blind Press YouTube channel. Also, the Blind Press and Special have returned to Twitch. And Piccolo, you have one of those movies. Put a link to Blind Press's channel in the chat, please. And I encourage you to subscribe to Blind Press also. And sometimes Piccolo shows up. So anyway, so these governors are saying, hey, dude, remember when these guys were heroes? The heroes that were taking care of us, they're keeping shit moving, and they were heroes, and now you're telling them to fuck off, So anyway, thank you, Piccolo, and also Jaeger Pony. I appreciate you guys. And while I'm at it, Maddie, thank you, Maddie, who says, truckers are the experts at self-quarantine. They have full cabs with bunks and creature comforts in their trucks. When they have to deal with shippers or receivers, it's through a plexiglass booth. Even in truck stops, we maintain distance. Yeah, a lot of these truckers are self-contained, people that, but they do what they do. And it's like, come on, leave them alone. Leave the truckers alone. Leave them alone. Oh, that didn't even show up here. I just noticed that coming up here. What happened to it? No, you have $5 USD. Oh. Oh, because 2 Canadians gave me $5 Canadian. See, now there you go. There's $5 in the US dollars. Okay. I think even the Canadians think that joke's funny sometimes. I hope so. I'm not trying to offend any of my Canadian friends. You know how much I love you guys. All right. So anyway, the premiers and governors are joining forces saying, you guys are assholes. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to something not Canadian and not trucker related. After this super chat, thank you, Fight for Our Rights, with a 5 American, which is now worth $4.20 American. How sad it is that the Canadian. Oh wait, 7, 5 times 7. Yeah, $4.20. Which, hey. Anyway, Fight for Our Rights said, how sad it is that the Canadians, French, stand up for their rights before us, United States. No offense to Canadians. Well, wait a minute. The Canadians French. It's not just the French Canadians. It's all the Canadians. Because not all the Canadians are French Canadians, but the Canadians in general are Canadians. And you're right. It's their stand up for rights for us. Well, I have a story about that, by the way. We'll get to it. Let's move on to something not trucker related. Even though I'm kind of. Did I skip the story? I had one more trucker story, and it was in direct relation to what you just said. Hang on. Oh no, I'm sorry. I skipped a whole bunch of stuff. Holy shit. Did you see this jackhole? Hang on. Bill Maher and Canadians Freedom Convoy, they're not wrong to be pissed off at elites. No, this jackhole, another Canadian jackhole right here. So this Trudeau's justice minister is saying that being pro-Trump is a factor that will decide if your bank account is seized under their emergency orders. Now, this is fascinating. This is fucking fascinating that a Canadian justice minister is invoking Trump. What the hell does Trump have to do with any of this? Trump is not in Canada. He's not from Canada. He's not dealing with Canada. He's not even the president of the United States. But listen to this jackhole. Here, let me, I'll do the better video here. Just a second here, because I want to fit this one on the screen. This jackhole, I go figure.
Donated to this to the same people who are funding maybe a terrorist. I just want to be clear here, sir. This is really important. A lot of folks says, look, I just don't like your vaccine mandates and I donated to this. Now it's illegal. Should I be worried that the bank can freeze my account? What's your answer to that?
Hang on. Sorry about that. There, that's what I meant to do. All right. Here's the question.
Well, I think just compared people who may have donated to this to the same people who are funding maybe a terrorist. I just want to be clear here, sir. This is really important.
Because he's talking about how Trudeau said this is like funding funding terrorists, right?
Vaccine mandates, and I donated to this. Now it's illegal. Should I be worried that the bank can freeze my account? What's your answer to that?
Well, I think if you are a member of a pro-Trump movement who's donating.
A member of a pro-Trump movement? What the fuck are you talking about? What the actual
hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars to this kind of thing?
A pro-Trump movement that's what? First of all, he's talking about whether you can freeze bank accounts, right? He's talking about freezing bank accounts of people who donated to the truckers.
Then you ought to be worried.
Then you ought to be worried if you're part of a Trump movement, right? I have questions. I have a question. A pro-Trump movement in Canada? You're going to freeze the bank account? Now, there are Americans who've donated to the trucker protest, right? They've donated to the trucker protest. But I'm pretty sure they're Americans. Now, I don't know how many Americans do their banking in Canada, but I'd have to say it's a pretty minuscule few. Now, so when he says you should be worried about them freezing your bank account and you support a pro-Trump movement, you're probably an American, and if you are, and if what that matters, I don't know, because I'm sure the Canadians that are protesting aren't necessarily part of a pro-Trump movement, but if you're is he saying he thinks you can freeze bank accounts in the United States? I have two words for him. Get bent. That's all I got to say.
People who may have donated.
Whoops, that's all I got to say about that. FTG, who is this jackhole? Whoever someone says FTG jackal, just FTG jackal. This he's a jackal. Shut up, reporter. I don't care, you propagandistic prick. All right. So anyway, by the way, this convoy donor closed their store after their info was leaked, after the Give Send Go hacked. So I think, is this the one that was? Is she the one that was interviewed? Yeah, a woman who donated to the Freedom Convoy, a group of truckers and individuals protesting Canada's vaccine mandates and COVID-19 restrictions, was forced to close her gelato store after her information was leaked in a hack on Give Send Go. Tammy Giuliani, I'm sure no relation to that guy in New York, owner of Stella Luna Gelato Cafe in Ottawa, Ontario, said in an interview with Ottawa Citizen that she was forced to close down her store after she began receiving threats. Giuliani's name appears on a list of Freedom Convoy donors stolen from crowdfunding site Give Send Go on Sunday and published online. The Daily Caller News Foundation confirmed. "We got a call from the team saying we're getting phone calls here," Giuliani told the Ottawa Citizen. That's a report, a newspaper or something. I said, "What's going on?" They said, "They're threatening to throw bricks through our window. They're threatening to come and get us." Wow. Yes. Canadian violence by the trucker. Oh, wait. The people against the trucker. Who's more likely? Okay. We got a poll, and let's do the poll. I'll do it right here. Who is, oops, sorry, my typing skills are not that great. Who is more likely to commit violence? Truckers? I don't know how to spell protesters. Trucker protesters or anti-trucker protesters. There you go. Let's ask. Let's find out who is more likely to commit violence, the trucker protesters or the anti-trucker protesters. Anyway, so there you go. There's that violence that they're trying to stave off with the Emergency Act. Yes, it would be violence from anyone who, well, you know. All right, we already did that one. Where's the one? Apparently there's a trucker convoy in the United States. It's going to start rolling soon. But anyway, let's go to Bryan Cranston, because this is just one of these typical douchebag things. So apparently there's a big deal here, that prompted Twitter to make this something, I guess, trending, sort of. I need to learn Bryan Cranston on confronting his own white privilege. Yes, go explore your white privilege. Apparently he's going to be playing, what's the name of this here? That's not it. Oh, that's the one I was looking for. Okay, I'm going to move this over. We'll come back to this if I get to it, hopefully. Apparently, how confronting his white privilege led Bryan Cranston to Power of Sale. Now, this is I would say kind of a fan fiction movie that they've made. Not a fan fiction, but just one of these fiction movies. He says, I'm 65 years old now, and I need to learn. I need to change. Change what, you fucking moron? The words tumble with intensity out of Bryan Cranston's mouth. He sits beside an unlit fire pit in his backyard on a recent windy morning. Chimes ring mournfully in the breeze, and a small white blossoms from the tree twist and twirl their way to a soft landing in the nearby pool. Cranston is telling me why he chose to step away from an offer to direct a show at LA's Geffen Playhouse, and how that decision led him to take the role of Charles Nichols in the theater's West Coast premiere of Power of Sale, written by Paul Grelong and directed by Wayne Mangasia, running through March 20th. At Nichols, Cranston plays an aging, highly respected Harvard professor who faces intense backlash for, wait for it, inviting a white nationalist and Holocaust denier named Carver to speak at his annual symposium. As student protests intensify and Antifa burns down the theater. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not it. Nichols presses forward, claiming his intention is to give Carver and his repugnant ideas a thorough dressing down in a debate. An avowed free speech absolutist, Nichols says the answer to hate speech is more speech. Oh, and they're going to tell you why it's not in this play. They're going to tell you why you should censor assholes like the white supremacist and naturalist motherfuckers. No, let them speak and make asses of themselves. Where's Richard Spencer these days? Huh? Where is he? Anyway, Power of Sale had its world premiere in the 2019 Warehouse Theater in Greenville, South Carolina, but Cranston believes the play gained resonance in the wake of the pandemic and the social and racial justice uprisings following the murder of George Floyd. And those occurrences shook the world. They also transformed Cranston, who says in these troubling years he came to face with his own white blindness and privilege. It was necessary. Okay, fuck it. I'm not reading this. You can read this. It's just a fascinating it's a fascinating look into self-flagellation by another Hollywood actor who thinks that they know everything. They're learning everything about the world, and they are just shook. Okay, and I like Bryan Cranston. He's a great actor, but I don't know. This kind of stuff is in some ways it's oppression porn for some, and it's I don't know. Anyway, FTG. Brian, sorry, I can't even read this shit anymore. Also, this was fascinating too. This is another article about Bryan Cranston that was in that list. Bryan Cranston hasn't fully recovered from Stupid 19, but he knows how lucky he is. All right, I'm not gonna read this one either, but I had to think when I saw this. I'm like, wait a minute. So he's basically recovered from Stupid 19, but he can't taste the smell. Like I can. I have trouble tasting the smell when I had it over a year ago. But knows how lucky he is. Does he not know that the normal result of having COVID-19 is that you recover from it, and that a very small percentage, although now granted in his age group, certainly the risks are much higher, so maybe, but he's also, it seems to be in very good shape, so, and not obese and have all this other stuff. But the idea how lucky he is, yeah, I mean, because a lot of people have died from this, right? But it's still not the norm if you look at data. So I guess I don't know, it's fascinating. So I don't know. Now here's what I was talking about before, though. Is this it? Please let this be it. Oh no, that's even better. From the Epic Times, California truckers decide to let freedom roll in the People's Convoy to Washington. Someone was saying earlier, hey, it's, all the Canadians, they're, doing their thing for freedom. Well, now some California truckers are starting to plan a roll. They're getting fed up with the federal government's endless emergency powers mandating masks and vaccines. They're gearing up for what they hope will be a Canadian-style freedom convoy to Washington, D.C., and are set to roll on Interstate 40 heading east from Barstow on February 23rd. Now, this is a premium article, and let's see. I don't even know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it because I didn't realize it was a article that you can't do. So let's see if anyone has archived this yet. And we'll just put that right there. We'll one more step. I'm not a robot. Has anyone archived this already? Well, yes, it did. It was archived 11 hours ago. So anyway, the nationalist group called the People's Convoy is organizing the truckers who will hit the road for nation's capital city to demand that Emergency Powers Act be lifted, ending the mandates, according to Chris Marston, chairman of the American Foundation for Civil Liberties. Oh my gosh, that must be a separate, that's not the ACLU because they don't believe in civil liberties anymore. The American Foundation for Civil Liberties, a nonprofit that advises for civil liberties issues and is helping coordinate the truckers' protest. I think they're going to try to hit there right around the State of the Union address and have the truckers in D.C. So it'll be interesting to see if that convoy grows as it moves eastward. I know the California guys are starting in, what did they say, February 23rd. So that'll be interesting. Harry and Meghan, remember they were supporting Neil Young and they were bitching at Joe Rogan. Apparently, they are now being mocked for sticking with their $25 million Spotify deal, despite the Joe Rogan situation. That's just kind of funny. Oh, Maddie, I forgot to say, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day because you were on Streamlabs there. Thank you. Oh, you and Gunfox were tied. That's good. So Meghan Markle and Harry, the Duchess and Duke of Sussex, are being called names in the U.S. talk shows over their stupid 19 misinformation comments about the Joe Rogan podcast controversy. The criticism comes amid speculations the couple may ditch their $25 million Spotify deal because of a fellow podcaster, Joe Rogan, reports the Mirror. But many are wondering if they will really choose principles over money, as they are kind of grifters. They kind of have to be because the Crown has kind of cut them off. Well, sort of, not really. He's still got a lot of money. Anyway, Fox News host Tucker Carlson blasted the former royal, saying that the annoying fake Duchess from L.A. and her brain-dead husband threatened to walk unless Spotify muzzled Joe Rogan. But they're not going anywhere. These two grifters have a $25 million deal with Spotify for essentially No work. So far, we believe they have produced just over 30 minutes of content. Wow, $25 million for 30 minutes? Holy shit. They need to get to work. That means these two have been paid about $1 million for each minute of talking they've done. That's a damn good gig, and it's too good to leave. Okay, good point. You can read the rest of that yourself. I think it's funny. Let's see, what else? Oh, by the way, it is the 1-year anniversary of the passing of Rush Limbaugh, who succumbed to cancer. Now, Bo Snerdley, who was his sidekick and now has his own show, tweeted this: a year ago, Rush left us. It is still painful to deal with, but there's also much gratitude. For 33 years, he took the arrows from the left. Today, there are millions of us standing up for America. He was such more to politics. I miss you, Rush, every day. They were good. They were really good friends, okay? And there's a few other people who have put out tribute to Rush. However, there are also plenty of people who hate Rush more than they hate their own mothers, which I'm assuming some of them do. And so there are some real dickheads out there with things. I'll just find one because most of these are just him. Here's a good example, and we'll just say FTG to all the dickheads being a shithead to Rush. Rush Limbaugh, they say, should not speak ill of the, or they say you should not speak ill of the dead. Oh well, Rush Limbaugh was an evil man consumed by hatred, and I say this quite sincerely. He lived 2 decades too long. And then they say Rush Limbaugh, an eternal gaslight. Now, if you're gonna have a political cartoon, as far as political cartoons go, and meme type things, at least this person, I mean, the meme they chose is one of those that's not bad for the left, because usually the left can't meme, even though I disagree with it. I think he, I think he was a pretty decent person. And I say they've said some things here and there that were questionable, but in the end, I think he made a big impact on the United States, and it was, I think, overall a positive impact. But there are just so many people. There's so many people that are just completely. Congratulations to Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient Rush Limbaugh, 12 months cancer free today. Well, that's a dickhead thing to say. Anyway, there's a lot of dickheads. Let's just say FTG to all the dickheads. Dickheads. There we go. FTG to the dickheads. I'm not even going to go through that stream. Some of it is such poor taste. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was over time. Well, there's a couple more here. Gina Carano had a tweet championing parents for standing up for your children. You can look at that one. Also, Matt Taibbi has a great article. I ran out of time, but about the American media and their big push for some war or some shit with Russia, and how it's kind of now they all have egg on their face. Like they said that in fact that attack should have been happening yesterday, right? Putin could attack Ukraine on February 16th, Biden told allies. Could? Fascinating. Anyway, it's a good article. You can check that one out. And then one thing I'm going to start doing at the end of on the end of these links is I'll give you links to all my other social media. There's my page on Gab, my page on Minds, my page on CloudHub, my page on what is this one? Parler, and then my page on Getter, and eventually a page on Truth Social. So all those links will be in the description down below, along with all the articles and links and tweets and videos and stuff that we saw today. So if you want to go back and reference any of those are available in the description down below. About 2/3 of the way through the outro is when I get that updated. So if you want to hang around and wait for that link, I'll put it in the chat too. Or you can come back later and find everything we talked about today. So that's all, people. It is the end of the show, the Thursday show. Thank you to our sponsors, Gunfox61, John Arnott, Jaeger Pony, Piccolo, and Maddie, and Fight for Our Rights. All great patriots, all. And our superstar donors today is a tie between Gunfox61, our Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day is a tie between Gunfox61 and Maddie. Thank you again for your support. That's it for today, people. I am here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Hit the like button, hit the share link thingy, do the thing with the comments in the comment section if you're watching a replay, and you can sponsor the show. All that information is in the description down below. The end of our poll today, it seems like the anti-trucker protesters are far more likely to cause havoc and violence in Canada, which, of course, you know that's the right answer. Very good. I applaud you. Thank you, everybody. It's time for me to go. My name is PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.